Hi class. Now we're going to talk about a specific rationalist. So we've talked about rationalism generally. We've talked about the three anchor points of rationalism. This is just an example of a philosopher who fits those anchor points. So you've done some reading on the thought of René Descartes. You see him here. He's French philosopher. His dates. Sorry, this should be, well, that's messed up. 1596 here to 1650. So that's, he didn't live in reverse, as these dates suggest. Sorry about that. So 1596 to 1650, French philosopher. He was actually sort of a Renaissance man. He was a mathematician. There are still several mathematical formulas that we use he gets credit for. He knew about as much about the human body and brain as anybody at his time. Just one of these guys that you hate, very smart in lots of different areas. And so we're just going to cover a very small piece of his philosophy. Okay, we'll cover another piece when we talk about dualism, but for now, just talking about knowledge. Now, I've got $1 million idea. I've got a lot of these. My wife mostly laughs at me, but here's my $1 million idea. So look at this picture. Here's Descartes. We haven't made a movie about his life yet. Well, I've got the perfect actor. Look at that. I mean, that is uncanny. Look at the resemblance. Huh? I mean, the eyes, right? The baggy eyes and the nose. I mean, you give him a weird French mustache, we're in business. You know, we can turn it into an action movie, you know, sort of like Tom Hanks, you know, his movie where he's like running through trying to solve every Catholic conspiracy. Descartes was Catholic, right? So we could just have Sly Stallone shooting up the Vatican or something. I don't know. Anyway, so let's talk about Descartes and some of his views on knowledge. In his book, Meditations on First Philosophy, often it's just called Descartes' Meditations, a very short book, had a huge impact. He seeks certainty. So he's a rationalist in this way, right? He wants the goal to be certainty, and he's thinking, how do I get there? He says, okay, well, this is how we have to do it. We've got to doubt everything. Anything that can possibly be doubted, we have to doubt. And here's the reason. If there's something that even gives us a shred of doubt, we need to move it aside because certainty means no doubt, no possibility of doubt, right? So if that's our goal, we need to move everything that we could possibly doubt to the side. And so he goes on this journey that gets a little weird, right? So he says, well, I can't really trust my senses because there's phantom limb pain. So people that lose limbs, like in war, still feel like they can feel pain there and they haven't. Man, the sense of pain is fallible. We can doubt it. He says, how do I even know I really have a body? I dream. And again, Descartes, who can talk about any dream he wants, make his writing a little bit more exciting, right? Talk about a dream where, again, you're an adventurer, you can fly, or you have superpower. No. He says, I can imagine a dream where I'm sitting at my table writing. That's like what he dreams about, writing at his table. Whilst in reality, I'm just in my bed, lying there asleep. And I wake up. And he says, well, how do you know that you won't wake up from this reality? Maybe you'll wake up to a different reality altogether. Maybe you don't really have a body. You just dream you have a body. Maybe you're just a brain in a jar somewhere. Can you be certain that you have a body? Because the only knowledge you have of your body is from sense experience. We know sense experience is fallible, magic tricks, mirages, etc. Well, maybe I don't have a body. Maybe I'm in the Matrix. And these images are just computer generated. You can't be certain. Now again, is it probable that you're in the Matrix? No. Is it probable that you're a brain in a jar? No. But if it's possible, and your goal is certainty, then we have to put it aside. Descartes further speculates, I can imagine God existing, but God being an evil deceiver. God making me think things like math are true, logic is true. God making me think that I have hands and all, and maybe I don't, and God is just laughing, right, as a deceiver. It's possible. Well, then, can I be certain? And so pretty soon, Descartes starts spiraling out of control. Maybe I can't be certain of anything. And so he starts looking at skepticism I'm thinking, maybe I have to be a skeptic. Maybe I have to come to the conclusion that nothing is certain. I can really have knowledge of nothing. And then he lands on it, and he says, wait, but in order to doubt, I must exist. In some capacity, I have to exist, right? Because if I didn't exist, I couldn't doubt. So even if I don't have a body, even if every single thing I've ever thought is false, I have to exist to be thinking. And so he lands on this foundation of certainty. It's a famous line, you probably heard it. I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I exist. We call it, in Latin, it's cogito ergo sum. 3 words, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I exist. Or sometimes in philosophy, we just refer to it as the cogito, right? Here's the deal. If you're thinking right now, you must exist. By thinking, you've proven that you exist. So you can be certain. This is huge in philosophy because we've overcome skepticism. Skepticism cannot be true. We can be certain of at least one thing, right? I exist. Now, I can't be certain that any of you exist. You might all be figments of my imagination. You might just be online constructs of something else, right? But I can be certain of my own existence. So Descartes' method of doubt is to deconstruct everything. I can't be certain that I'm a man. I can't be certain I have a body. I can't be certain that the world existed 10 minutes ago. Maybe it didn't. Memories are fallible. Sense experience is fallible. I can't be certain of anything in the future. The world might end tomorrow. The world might end a second from now. I can't be certain of very much. But after I've torn everything down, I land on, but I exist. I'm certain of that. And from that foundation, he overcomes skepticism, and he begins to reconstruct, he begins to build on that foundation. So he says, I know I exist, and I know I didn't create myself, so something else had to exist to create me. He starts thinking about perfection and infinity, and he gets to God's existence. So from this, he constructs all kinds of arguments. Pretty soon he gets to conclusions like, I exist, I have a body, sense experience is trustworthy, God exists. But it had to start from a place of deconstruction, right, to get to the cogito. Now he's a rationalist because he can't trust sense experience. He's a rationalist because the place of certainty, his thinking, is about reason and rationality and argument, right? He's a rationalist because anchor point number 1 is meant, reason is primary. Anchor point number 2 is meant, sense experience is not reliable. And remember, the third anchor point of rationalism is about a priori knowledge. And Descartes argues that the cogito is a priori. Things like perfection and infinity are a priori. So he meets all 3 of the criteria, which makes Descartes a rationalist, right? So how does Descartes' philosophy fit? I hope you can see that. He wants universal knowledge. He wants certainty. Reason's going to get us there. Sense experience can't. Certain things are known a priori. So Descartes and the cogito help us with this goal of certainty and with the exploration of knowledge. He does it in a weird way by doubting, but once he finds the thing he can't doubt, then he knows he's found certainty. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions at all, let me know, and I will see you online.